what you said about the story, and I'd want to touch on that a little bit more because it's a little bit scary giving up your story and allowing the community to engage and possibly take it in a direction that you may not like or be comfortable with. So how do you manage that as a business, and how is social media impacting the way people view trust in terms of businesses and political organizations?
It's a great question. In terms of the idea of message control and the way that we've sort of traditionally thought about it is pretty much dead. The reason I talk about values is that as you bring people into an organization, if they become part of a set of values and buy into a set of beliefs, they're generally going to work for the benefit of the organization. They're there, they've affiliated with you for some reason, and it's generally a desire to be part of something greater than themselves. In the concept of a political campaign, educating new volunteers on the values of the campaign and what we're about is more important than the specific language of talking points. Their ability to talk about the values of hope and a vision for a new country, or whatever the path that you're trying to draw people into, they may find ways to articulate in their communities that aren't the talking points that David Axelrod came up with. But if they're informed by the same values, we're going to be able to drive in one direction. That kind of message control is what we hope for. We hope people will engage in their own language. We hope people will engage in a way that's meaningful and authentic to them, inside of a framework of the mission and the objective of the organization. And so the idea that the story may go in the wrong way, look, community management is always about incentivizing behavior. It's about, making examples of people sharing stories and engaging in ways that you do find beneficial, and lifting those to the top, and the community will tend to police itself around the edges.
So a lot of it, what I'm hearing is you're really monitoring what's going out there and then massaging your message accordingly?
That's certainly part of it. I mean, I would argue that you start with a core of who you are, and then that narrative is going to get expressed in different language depending on community. But it's fundamentally one story. You fundamentally get one sense of self.
And you're using social media to hit the disparities or the diversity of those communities?
It's an opportunity to go to, like the minister was saying, depending on the communities that matter to you and the audiences you're trying to reach, you can go to where your people are, right? It's an opportunity. One of the things that social media and sort of the digitization of media generally offers small businesses in particular is the ability to go and reach people directly without a filter and without the expense of things like paid media, although that plays a role and can play a role and can be an important piece of this, is that you can go to the communities that matter to you wherever they are.
And it comes back to the same thing, getting content that someone's going to find the hook or come to, and that's an issue. Minister, you had to come?
I think I agree with Mike completely. The social media makes it more open and transparent. There's no question about it. And there are some challenges associated with it, especially in the political environment. You want to control the messages sometimes. But in this case, you can't control the messages. And the message goes, not only you can't control it, but it goes instantly and it's all over the map, right? But there are pluses and minuses for that. I think the pluses outweigh the minuses long shot, because you reach a bigger audience, you get to know their opinions, you can then shape your thinking, you can shape your program as you move forward. So I think it's very, very progressive from my point of view to actually for the governments to become more open and more transparent and actually reach a very wider audience. I think it can really change the way the politics works.
Yep. One other thing to follow up about that is that the other reality that people tend to think about when they talk about losing control of their message, or people might say negative things about me, they're saying those negative things somewhere else right now, right? The idea that just because we don't hear it, it doesn't exist, playing ostrich with our problems is not productive. And so as we think about sort of the risk calculus of how we're going to engage in the world, just because we can't quantify things we don't hear doesn't mean we just have the math wrong. And so it gives us an opportunity to both shape conversation, but also respond. People who disagree with you is an opportunity to change someone's mind. And it gives you an environment in which to have that discussion, whereas currently you're just in the dark.
Thank you.